Hello, everyone. Have you ever heard of a young parent dying and worried about their family, and then started to worry about your own? What might happen if you die without putting plans in place can keep you up at night. Today, we want to help you have better sleep by talking about some things you need to be sure you have in place to protect your children if you die young. I'm Raluca. I offer estate planning, family law, and immigration services to my clients. I'm here as usual with Nina Clear, my office and marketing manager. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and comments. We really appreciate all your support as it helps others to see our videos.
And I know this is an important topic, but it's one that most people would rather not talk about, right?
Yes, most of us don't want to consider dying while our children are young. Unfortunately, it is something that happens. Or you may become disabled. If your children are protected, this may negatively impact their whole life.
And you have examples of two men who had different estate plans set up. So will you tell us about them?
Sure. We have two men, both are in their 30s, who make a nice yearly income of about $250,000. Both were killed in separate car accidents. And that is where the similarities end.
Okay, tell us about the first one.
The first one has the minimal life insurance policy provided by his work of about $50,000. And after funeral costs, that left about $35,000 for his wife to live for the rest of her and their kids' life. She had to sell their home, remove the children from the private school they were going to, go back to work, making substantially less than her husband had made. So this made it so their entire life has changed. And in fact, depending on the wife's income abilities, she may even have a difficult time saving for retirement.
Okay, what about the second man?
He had planned for the safety and protection of his family, whether he was here or not. So he had taken out a life insurance plan that allowed them to continue to live in their home. And you can often talk to your insurance company and see if they have a rider you can add that would pay off your mortgage in the event of death of either spouse. The mom didn't have to go to work and the children were able to stay in their school. Also, the wife was provided for in the retirement.
Okay, so many people unfortunately spend their full paycheck on living instead of on planning for their future.
Yes, and that's unfortunate if the worst happens.
And you mentioned both men made about $250,000 a year, which is a nice amount of money, right? So is estate planning really for those who are wealthy or have wealth?
No, not at all. It definitely shouldn't be. It should be for everyone with a family or any type of estate. So even if you're single, you do want to create a plan for protecting your family in case of those things that you cannot control, death or disability.
It sounds like you want to at least have life insurance and disability insurance and maybe also mortgage insurance, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yes.
I know when my sister had twins, her husband was like, okay, if one of us dies, the other one would either have to not work or we have to be able to afford childcare and whatever else, pay off the house, all of those things. So that was something they thought about and planned for.
Yes.
So what else can you do to protect your children?
You also want to determine when you want your children to get the inheritance.
Okay, and what do you mean by that?
For example, Georgia law would give your child their entire inheritance when they turn 18. If most of us look back when we were 18, we might not have made the best choices with the money at the time. So you can designate someone to manage your children's money who is older and hopefully better able to manage their money until they gain some maturity.
Okay, and we talked about this in a couple other videos, but unless you want the court to appoint a guardian for your kids, in your estate planning documents, you should appoint a standby guardian and a permanent guardian.
That's right.
Okay, and they could be the same person.
True.
Okay.
Yes.
And sometimes you have the same person take care of the money and the kids, and sometimes you have different people take care of the money and the kids.
That's right. It's
right.
Your choice. Yes.
And then what about step or foster children?
That's a good point. If you die without a will, they will not get anything, even if you have told everyone in your family you want them to. So be sure to write in your will what you want them to receive so they do.
And what about if you own a business?
You can set up a business succession plan, and I recommend that you do.
And what does that business succession plan do?
This dictates who will manage a company and own your company when you die. And doing this before you pass away may help to cut down on arguments. Plus, if your company keeps going, then your children and spouse can benefit from the continued income.
Okay, anything else?
We talked about this before, but even if your children are grown, it will be helpful for them to know your desires about extended life care. So making sure you have a healthcare directive at a minimum in place is always a good practice. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out to us for a consultation, and we'll see you tomorrow.